So before we go into today's subject, which is going to be How's This About Me, aka Fuck the Play, This Is About My Life. I wanted to talk a little bit first about the research. So how is it going now?
Yeah. With the taxidermy, for example.
Yeah, for taxidermy. Yeah, how's that going?
Yeah. I'm in a position where I really want to try it out. Practically.
Okay, of course you should. Yes.
Yeah. So what I've done is I have talked to several taxidermists not all over the country, but mostly here in Stockholm and in Gothenburg, and I found one who is willing to let me in his workshop, and it's really exciting. The bad news is, though, we are not allowed to film there.
Okay.
Because I asked him, and he wasn't okay with that.
Okay, well,
but I promise I'm gonna try to, learn as much as possible from him. I'm gonna ask him a lot of questions and just, I don't know exactly what's gonna happen, but I promise I will come back with everything I got, and this is becoming more than an acting course. This is taxidermy from now on. We'll see what happens, but I'm gonna come back with everything and tell you guys what I know, what I learned.
And we also, of course, we have to say that this is because of our patrons that we're able to do this. So you're able to...
exactly. This is our Patreon money. The money we got, we're gonna invest it in me learning taxidermy.
Well, yes, which is all going to lead up to the live performance that we want to do.
I think I have it because it's been the same the last 4 days now.
Okay. So
and it all comes down to life.
Yeah.
The word life is what gets me going every time in the end. Like, it's so much creativity in that, so much sexuality in that. So it's still the same. It has the same meaning, but it's everything, And when I write and I find things about myself, then I think of Norman, and I realized that how the taxidermy is life. All the music, Beethoven, is life.
Yeah.
All my books, that's life. I even think that even if that may be a lot of different things, to dress up as a woman, as mother in her clothes.
Is it actually, to be very detailed now? Is it life or is it alive?
Oh, life or alive. Right now it's still life, but I found something. I didn't find that today, but yesterday I found something. But that wasn't when I was writing. That was like afterwards.
Oh yeah, it could be.
Yeah, and it wasn't even about me in that way. It was about the story. That there is something I need to survive.
Yeah.
It was just something towards what you're saying, that it could be alive, actually.
That's what I'm here. That's what I hear in you.
Yeah.
With the things you talk about,
Well, do you alive even to I don't get it. To be alive through the taxidermy and the news.
Yes. So you keep the animals alive. It makes you feel alive when you listen to Beethoven. It makes you feel alive. You want to be alive.
Yes. That's so specific. It needs to be.
Yeah, because that to say life. If I say the word life to you, your body doesn't react. If I say the word alive to you, what does it do to your body?
I get now I get warm and nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got to find a word that hits your body and makes you feel.
Yeah.
The body, as I said, the word that makes you get up in the morning.
Yeah.
I know.
It's alive then. Yeah.
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 That's what I think.
Yeah.
Write on that alive a little bit more.
Yeah.
Write on the word alive.
I can change the meaning then.
Yeah. So now you can write. I need to be alive because.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, but with that, we're very, very close now to get that word that will get you going in every scene. Let's move on to today's session, which is going to be about, how is this about me? Because when we do a play, or a movie or a story, and we get a character in our hands, which we haven't, maybe we know them for about 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe 6 weeks, 8 weeks before we start shooting or we start doing the play. And if it's a character on the paper, it's not going to be that important to us as if it was our own life. Our own life is always the most important thing in our life. So that's where we need to go. It needs to be about my life and what I need at this particular moment. Not what you needed 20 years ago, but what you need right now at this particular moment. So your life will be better. So it's hope for a better life. And if you attack the play or the story or the script with the idea that maybe there is a solution in here, because towards the end, it's going to be the stories we're talking about are the stories. The way we're doing it is that we get getting our needs met. That's what we're looking for. If we're getting our needs met in the story from our point of view, that means that we are also, as human beings, as actors, getting our needs met. So it's like an instruction book for me to get what I need in my life right now.
Yeah, like the script could tell you
how to do, what to do.
Yeah. How to do it and what to do.
And what to do and how to do it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be the things that, which it will be, because as Norman succeeds, getting what he wants, he's doing things that you've never done. Because then you would have succeeded. Yeah. So that's what we are getting to. And of course, we're talking about the live, and we're talking about, but what? I mean, he completely disappears in the end. You don't completely disappear in the end, and you're going up, I mean, your mother is taking over. How is that going to be alive? Well, it is keeping you alive, because that's the only way to be alive, is that your mother takes over.
Yeah. That's the way to be alive, to let her take over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It's the only way for you to stay alive, because otherwise she would kill you.
Yeah. So I am still there in a way.
But we'll see about that.
Because we'll see about
that. But we will get to it. We will get to that. It's complicated. We'll get to that. We have a couple of more sessions here. We have a session which is called Embracing the Darkness, which a lot of things is going to happen. So I mean, it's so important to hurry slowly with this, because if we're making judgment about Norman and about the mother too early, based on just psychological ideas that we read in a book, it's still going to be judgment, and it's going to be intellectual judgment, and it's not going to come from our bodies. Yeah. I'm with you. So important. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so what we need to do is to find out how this is about me. And then I need to talk about something that's, I always say it's very important, but everything is very important. But there's something we need to talk about, and that is playing the victim. I said a couple of minutes ago that what the stories we're talking about is stories about where your character and you are getting your needs met. You're winning in the end. But I find it more fruitful to talk about getting your needs met. Because winning is not just, hooray, I'm winning and I'm the best, which also can be quite an intellectual concept. But to get your needs met, it's completely emotional. It gets to your body. So that's why I prefer to use that. To get your needs. Yeah. So, right. So it is a story where you grow. Yeah. It's a story. It's a story where you grow as a human being.
Yes.
Where you grow, and there are actually only two energies in, that's what I believe, in this world, and it's the energy of growing or it's the energy of dying.
Yeah.
Those are the only two energies. Either you're growing or you're dying. So we're hopping on the train of the energy of growing, of getting our needs met.
Like two options.
There's two options. There's always two options. You're either winning, or so you're either growing or you're dying.
Yeah.
Right. So to grow, we need to do things. We need to do things we've never done before. We need to take responsibility for the things that we've done and learn things from it and do new stuff, which means that we cannot be playing the victim. We cannot be playing. It's actually it's not very. It's quite boring actually to play the victim. It's because it's also it's based on fear. Fear is the most important emotion when you're playing the victim. So it's really all there is. So play the victim is about not taking responsibility, but blaming other people for what's happening. It's about feeling sorry for yourself. It's about thinking that you're stuck, that you cannot go anywhere, and letting other things, circumstances, people around you be the thing that is influencing you, not you are influencing them. And this is a choice. We make a choice every moment, every minute, because we can either take responsibility and say, this is it, this is what I've done, this, yes, and I now need to do something to grow, or I can say this is their fault, so I feel sorry for myself, and that's dying. So those are the two options every minute in our life, and that's also the two options in our work. Yeah, of course. I mean, I play the victim about 1,000 times every day. Well, yes, of course I do.
Yeah.
We all do, but as long as we don't get stuck in it. I mean, we can be a victim, because sometimes we can be a victim of a crime, for example. Sometimes we are victims. But if we choose to stay there, if we like it, if we feel comfortable there, if we feel that we get something out of it, because we do in the church, we get a lot of attention in the beginning, that means that we are playing the role. We are playing the part of being a victim. So it's the staying in it. Yeah. So it's so important not to stay in the dying energy, the victim energy, but to hop on the train of getting your needs met, growing. Right. So we're going to talk about transactional analysis. Yeah. So there's a book called I'm Okay, You're Okay. which is a book about this. Is this a method, a psychological method? It's a theory about our three ego our ego statuses. So we can either be a parent, or we can be an adult, or we can be a child. Yeah. So we have all these three people inside of us. So the parent, let's start with the adult. The adult is the one that says, yeah, I have to get up at 6 tomorrow because I need to be in town at 8 o'clock. So I'll have half an hour for lunch and for breakfast, and then I have 10 minutes for a shower, and all that. That's being an adult. The parent is divided up in two parents. It's the controlling parent, which is also the critical parent, or it's the nurturing parent. And the child is divided up in two children as well. It's the free child and it's the adapted child. So in psychotherapy, you can use this for changing. This is why it's called transactional analysis. Changing a relationship with someone, that you can go into parent. For example, if you feel that you're in a child towards someone, you can go into parent and change the relationship. Now, for us, it's interesting for a lot of things, but it's very interesting when we talk about ourselves, or when we have an inner monologue, or when which person that inside of us is talking. So we are constantly in dialogue with each other inside of us in this. So it can either be the critical or controlling parent talking to the child, let's say, you should not do that, and now you were really, really stupid, you were incredibly stupid, you shouldn't absolutely not do that, don't do that, now you're doing it again. That's that parent, yeah. And then it's nurturing parent, which that was the critical controlling parent talking to the free child. So and then it's the nurturing parent talking to the adapted child, saying like, come on, it's okay, it's not going to be a problem, it's going to be fine, everything's going to be good, it's going to be it's not going to be like last time, everything's changed. That's that parent inside of us. And then it can be the child, so it can be the free child talking to the controlling or critical parent inside of us, saying like, yeah, you don't understand, I didn't understand me at all, and I don't want to sit here and study, I want to go out and play, I want to do all the things I want to do in my life, why am I not allowed to do that, and so on. That's that child. And then it's the adapted child that can talk to the nurturing parents, like saying, I really like to have some free time, and I like to have an ice cream, or I like to just, yeah. So those are sort of, do you recognize those voices?
Yeah, definitely. I have them in me, for sure.
Yeah, we all have them in us. And this is not like saying I have the most horrible upbringing at all. This has nothing to do with that at all. It's things that we pick up, all of us, 100% of everyone. And it doesn't even have to be the parent, actually. Parents, we pick up it from teachers at school. We pick up it from older relatives, neighbors. So it comes from everywhere, and it sort of it amalgamates inside of us into something that we call the critical parent. Yeah, and the free child is that child inside of us that's still there. So and it's really I think it's really, I mean, we talk about sort of parents are critical and horrible and so on. They're not. Parents are doing the best they can all the time. It's just that moment when parents are not doing the best they can, that's what's useful for acting. Yeah, that's the only thing. So, but this is talking about that voice inside of you. That's the voice that Norman, have inside of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the critical, controlling parent, and it's so big that you're actually fragmented. So yes. So how does your controlling voice inside of you, how does it sound for you today?
But for me, it's always like that I should be so much better. I should do much more. That it's never good enough. Basically, that's like a day-to-day struggle inside of me. That that one side of me, or the critical parent in me, saying that this is not good enough. You need to do better, and well, the other side is probably the one of the children, right?
Yeah.
Who tries to live up to that all the time.
Yeah, that's the adapted child that's trying to live up.
Oh, yeah, that's the adapted
live
child.
up to the expectations. Yes, exactly. So
yeah.
Yeah. Instead of the free child is the one that's rebelling against that.
Yeah, but that happens because that happens.
Yeah, they're all inside of us. They are all inside of us all the time, and there's a constant dialogue in between these four. I've asked you already to write down all the facts, no imagination, just facts in the story about your Norman's life, and to compare it with your own life, and to highlight it or put or draw a line under it where it is the same. Okay. So there's a lot of things that's happened to Norman. There's been a lot of things happening to you. You've lost your father when you were 5.
Yeah.
Life, and then we talked about this big thing happening in the teens, with you actually killing your mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And her lover.
Yes. So what did you kill in your teens?
I'm gonna close my eyes again.
Yeah, close your eyes. What can you see? What did you kill when you were 15, 16?
I had troubles with well, you know, like sexual confidence and things like that.
Yes.
And yeah, I think I killed at that in a way during my teens.
You killed your sexuality?
Yeah, I think so. That's what I see. I mean, I was so, I mean, terrified of sex and of.
This is what came up as well in the last session. So this is something that's with your sexuality in your teens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about having done that?
I feel shit. I feel sometimes when I think back on my teenage years, it's just like I didn't have any. Like that I wasn't a teenager. But so I feel right now I feel like sad and angry at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like I want I want that back, you know? I want I want to be a teenager again, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you want to live.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. It's so much life which I didn't allow myself to have.
Yeah, because of what happened. As it's happened to Norman as well, because you know, Norman, you had to start working after that as well. You had to be to run the motel.
Exactly. Like I had to grow up to become an adult, like in my teens. Yes. Yeah. So
So there are lots of similarities in this between you and Norman.
Yeah, I start to see it as well. The whole town of Farewell thought that it was a murder suicide when my mother died and her man, and that became a big thing. I got quite famous in Farewell after this thing happened.
Yes.
There was a rumor about the sheriff says that it's the only murder or suicide thing ever happening in this town.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It hit me because I remember how I felt when I was going through like a family crisis.
Yeah.
And
How
we were
old were you
living
then?
like 13, 14.
Yeah. So that's not so dissimilar. Family
No.
crisis. 13,
Yeah.
14, and
And
yeah.
and also living in a small
Exactly.
town where everyone knows everyone, and it got like a rumor in a way that I knew that, oh, people know about this.
Yeah.
So that's why that was like, oh yeah, that really resembles with me.
Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm.
So how has that affected you to have that thing in your life, the family crisis that you had when you were 13, 14, and the fame or the attention around that?
Yeah, that was disturbing when it happened. I remember I didn't like it at all. I was starting to hold things together, and I stopped. I probably stopped. I didn't want to talk about it, and I for a period of time I didn't know that people knew, which was a relief to me. But when I realized that, oh shit, pretty much my whole school knew, and that was that was really, I felt foolish in that way.
What's the positive side of it? There's always two sides to everything.
Mm. Yeah, no victim. The positive side. Well, I have grown a lot.
Yeah.
And become very strong, I think.
Yes.
I know that I can take it when when life really comes crashing down, and I can be very, very emotionally steady and endure many things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course I'm an actor,
Yeah.
so it's been great for my acting.
Well, a family crisis by the mid-teens that influenced has been the biggest influence in your life. I don't think your life is so dissimilar from Norman, actually.
Oh shit, no.
That's the big thing in your life. So if this hadn't happened to Norman when he was 15, 16, 17, life would have been very different. And if this didn't happen to you at that time, life would have been very different. Wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I would be a different person.
You would be a different person.
Yeah. But when I did this list of what happened to me, my question is, like, in the script we find out that my Norman's dad died when I was 5 years old.
Yes.
Which is slightly different, I think, to lose one parent at that age in comparison to when you're 20.
Well, yeah, but that's not what we're talking about here. It's a big difference, but that's not what we're talking about right now. We will get to that later on. But we're talking about this crisis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. But
oh, you're trying to escape that. Why are you trying? You're really trying to escape that. Why are you trying to escape that? Why are you fleeing from that thing?
you mean
Then you started to talk about something else.
yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I went up my head.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
And also, since I've known you for some time, I've always felt that you've avoided this. Well, it's difficult stuff to deal with.
Yeah, it was I mean, horrible in many ways.
Yeah.
And
But I'm asking you something else now. What was good about it?
Is that what you mean? What I am avoiding? The good thing about it.
Yeah. You feel guilty about that?
Yeah, I do. I feel very guilty.
Yeah.
To use it.
Yes.
In a positive way. Yeah.
Yes, of course you do.
Yeah.
But what was good about it?
Yeah. It made me connected. I don't know. That's what comes up right now. That it made me feel connected, and I could feel
alive.
What?
Alive.
Oh yeah. Like life became so much more.
And I know my father died. I was much older when my father died, but it's the life-changing thing in my life, and most of the time, I mean, I'm angry with him, I'm sad, I'm all these kind of things, but I sometimes also actually can long for those days because I felt so alive.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. It's almost it's amazing in one way, and
nothing else matters.
Nothing else matters, and you feel so connected, and you're you feel so focused and
special.
Special, yeah. I guess.
Yes. So, don't you think that maybe being an actor is looking for that connection again?
Definitely. Definitely. That's I'm very all the time like going for that space in one way or another. It's like I know how it feels to be so alive, and as if everything else, everything in between, makes it a little boring. Actually, it's way more fun to be that alive than to be a little, off and not really connected with life so fully. Yeah, so it's it's a gift as I see it now. It's a gift because I don't know, but maybe some people never reach that.
Well, everyone does. Yeah, well, everyone does, because I mean, we all at some time meet death in that capacity, close to us, close to someone who's close to us, family member, or not. It doesn't just have to be death, near death experience of some kind. It doesn't have to be someone dying, but the crisis of this big crisis of fear of someone dying. I mean, I was 35 when my father died, and before that, I didn't know shit about life, and I didn't know anything about being connected either.
Oh, shit. But that's amazing in a way when you think of it that way, that death actually gives us life.
That's this is what it's all about. There's nothing else than life and death. There's nothing else.
No.
There's nothing else. Growing or dying. There's nothing else. There isn't.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So I think you know a lot more about Norman now, actually.
Yeah. In my body.
Yeah. Because that's where it's happening.
Exactly. But if I should try to explain it right now, I wouldn't.
No, you don't have to explain it. No.
Good.
That's not what it's all about. This is about being there with Norman.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so